Today we're going to learn about estimating the value of an imperfect square root and imperfect cube root. We're going to start by reviewing the steps. The first step is to find which two perfect square roots your number fits between. That's why it's important to have memorized your basic perfect square roots. The second step is to find the actual whole number values of those two square roots. The third step is to determine which square root your number is closer to. This will help you with estimating what decimal to choose for step 4. And then in step 5, you have to check your work by multiplying the chosen decimal times itself to see if it's close to your original number. If you don't get close enough, you may have to guess a decimal a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller and try another guess. Let's start with an example. Estimate the square root of 14. There's no perfect square root of 14, but I know it's between the square root of 9 and the square root of 16. I know the square root of 9 is equal to the whole number 3, and the square root of 16 is equal to the whole number 4. I know 14 is closer to 16, so I'm going to guess something a little bit bigger. First, I'll write that it is closer to the square root of 16. Which means it's going to be close to 4. So maybe let's try something like 3.8. Let's check our work. We're going to do 3.8 times 3.8. 8 times 8 is 64. Put the 4, carry the 6. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 6 is 30. Put a 0 to hold the spot. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. My answer, I have a 4, a 4, a 4, and a 1. I have the answer of 14.44. This is pretty close to the answer. I could try something else if I think this is a little bit too big. So I'll write down that this answer came out to be 14.44. And then I'll try 3.7. Because maybe I went over a little bit and I could have a little bit more of an accurate answer with 3.7. 7 times 7 is 49. Carry the 4. 7 times 3 is 21, plus the 4 is 25. Put the 0. 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. For this answer, I got 13.69. This is actually a little bit closer. Even though it's a little under, it's closer because it's only off by 0.31, whereas this was off of 14 by 0.44. So I think our best answer is to go with 3.7. Now I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try a few on your own. The video will review the answers when you are ready. Pause now. Okay, we will now review the answers. Here's the work that shows how to solve these two problems. Review it carefully and compare it to your work. For the first one, I tried out two different decimals. I tried out 5.6 times 5.6 and found that I could probably be a little bit closer, so I rounded up to 5.7 times 5.7 and settled on that as a good answer. For the next one, 8.1 was really the only good answer because 65 is so close to 64, which the square root of 64 is 8. Now we're going to try estimating an imperfect cube root. For this one, you need to think of your perfect cube roots. We only have to memorize those up through the cube root of 125, which is 5. So the cube root of 20 falls between the cube root of 8 and the cube root of 27. The whole number equivalent to the cube root of 8 is 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And the whole number equivalent to the cube root of 27 is 3 because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 20 is closer to 27. So I'm going to put that we want to pick something that is closer to 3. So we're choosing a decimal between 2 and 3, but closer to 3. So let's pick something like maybe 2.7 and see if that works out well. It's going to be a little more work again because we're going to have to multiply the number times itself 3 times. To start, we're just going to multiply it by itself twice. 7 times 7, 49. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 4 is 18. Put the 0. 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. 9, 12, and 7. So we have 7.29, but we've only multiplied the number times itself twice, and we need to do that 3 times. So we're going to take that answer and multiply it one more time times 2.7. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 6 is 20. And 7 times 7 is 49, plus 2 is 51. Put the 0. 2 times 9 is 8. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. And 2 times 7 is 14. We'll add those up. We're going to have 3 decimal places in this answer because there's 2 on the top number and 1 on the bottom. So our decimal will go here. So our answer comes out to be 19.683. That is very close to 20, so I think that our chosen decimal of 2.7 is a very good estimate for the cube root of 20. Now I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try this one on your own. We will now show the answer. For the cube root, of 80, we found that was between the perfect cubes of 64 and 125, which has equal values to the whole number 4 and 5. So we tried a couple things. I tried 4.2 times 4.2 times 4.2, but I decided that was a little too far off, being only 74, and I could get closer. So I upped it to 4.3 and ended up with 79.492, which is very close to 80. So I think the best estimate and answer is 4.3. Good job today. Get a practice sheet from your teacher or on Schoology when you're ready.